Wednesday the 15th of June, always a Wednesday, about 10:30. It's going to be a warm one today. I've just watered this bed or plot, just waiting for the tank to fill up again, so I can water the other one. But these have been in now a month, so 5 weeks, and they're really sort of getting away, made weight. I used a spray last week, and I don't think they enjoyed it too much. Some of the tip growth have reacted, gone a bit crinkly, but none of that's actually going to stay there, so not too worried. Just go careful with it later on in the season. But these are well away, in fact probably too well away, and I shall start stopping some today, particularly on the late varieties. This is Louis White. You can see there's some buds in amongst them, and I've just sort of left them to deal with. But the late ones I shall do this week, next week, and a few after. Most of what's in here are late, so they'll be done over the next probably 3 weeks, which will hopefully get me to Harrogate. Ramses are looking good. The Alvis are a bit up and down, some budded early. That's the nature of the beast when you plant out around about the 14th, 15th of May, but it was still probably the right thing to do for me. There's the Aggies, Bryn, Valentine, nice and chunky. Again, I've sort of experimented here, so the left hand row is buried, so the ones with buds I'll strip them out and strip them down, and the right hand one's normal. And the spur, again there's a couple with buds in there, but she'll get into them. The second plot really hasn't flown away the same. These have been in 3 weeks today. Some have, some haven't. The ones that have, which these are cream Alvis, well, they went in at the same time as the others, but there seems to be an animal or something having a go at the fabric, as you can see by the splits. But if it comes to it, I'll put another bit over. But these haven't really flown away as I'd like yet, but they've had some indifferent weather. But they are getting there now, and really I don't want any of these varieties really for bank holiday weekend. These are for national through, so they won't get started to stop until next week and going on 2 weeks after that, so just to delay this plot by maybe a week or so. There's no point having 23 varieties in full belt, especially when I've got 24, 25 plants are the main ones. To do 6 bloom classes, it's just a waste of flowers, so I try and spread them that way a little bit. Not quite like what Mark did last year, in a sense of 2 separate plots, 2 separate times. I'm just going to hold on to the ancillary varieties a little bit longer. But that's that lot watered. Get the knife out and then water these ones. Hopefully we've given 30 odd degrees on Friday. Today's watering will see me through the weekend where they're giving rain again, and that'll probably be a feed early part of next week even. So enjoy the sun. So that's that done. I've put the left hand cane in on the plants that I've stopped. This one's a Louis White, and you see I've stopped it and removed all the shoots from the top of the plant. There's some tiny little bits down the bottom there that I should leave to grow. I've just done that on the plants I've stopped. I've put the left hand cane in. There's some plants that I stopped earlier because they budded, so I'm going to sort of just do those on a double stop. So I've not obviously caned those, so I know that the ones I've stopped thinking they're going to be at the right time. So they're all done, all had a drink, and a little tidy up. Let's see what the hot weather brings. Wednesday the 22nd of June. We had a feed today, and I've been going through doing some of most of the plants being stopped, especially on this bed, because they're generally the later ones for the national. I've left a few odd ones like that to do next week, which hopefully will extend me to Harrogate, but I think sort of stopped in different ways, leaving different pips and shoots and things. Some are double, some are quite hard, which should spread the flush a bit. That was Louis White. This is Alvis. Again, the left run is buried, so I've stopped them and stripped them. There's nothing left to come above ground. And the right hand ones, some I've double chopped done, where they budded early. Others I've just literally done today as a single, and there's probably about 4 plants there yet to do next week. Again, just trying to make sure I stretch out a bit to Harrogate. Ramsay's, much the same, left hand row stripped, right hand row done on a traditional stop. We'll see how they perform. I'm expecting the left hand row to be later than the right, which hopefully will spread me. This is Bryn, all done. Aggie, Valentine, again same on Valentine, left buried and stripped, right done traditionally, and Spur much the same. There is a problem with the fabric, which is highlighted here, is that the brown weed fabric isn't UV stable, and it actually becomes much like tissue paper when it's seen some sun, and it just breaks down very easily. So that's a problem, and one I'm going to have to solve. Can't put more fabric down because the plant's already in. So over at the back there, there's a large pile of horse manure that's going spare. So bed by bed, I think over the next couple of weeks I'm going to have to just take the fabric or what's left of it off and mulch with manure. It should be safe. It's been there since the autumn. People have been using it around the plots, growing all sorts of veg and beans and things in there, so if there's any issues with it, I'm sure I would have heard by now. But that's the problem, and it's going to add a bit of a workload on to what I hadn't expected to do. But in that bed is Cream Alvis, John Hill, and Water Hardersly at the end. This is White Alvis and Ben Houston, and they all look a bit strange now because they've all been stripped. This is Hannah that you saw plant in the previous video. As you can see, top out, side shoots all out, down to there. So there's only one place they can grow, and that's from those joints that we buried when we planted them. Behind the Tammy's done. I think Bonaventure's going to be a waste of time. I wasn't particularly happy with the plants when I planted them. I'm even less happy with them now. It is definitely one that you just can't take cuttings from field tubers. They just break down. It has to be pot tuber, which I didn't have any of to do, and I thought selecting the best plants would still be okay. This is peach and pink peach, a couple of rose peach at the end, and then we've got Go American, which I've done on a double stop, in an aim to try and take a bit of petal out of it and hopefully get the centres a bit smaller. And then Amari Gold, and as you can see I've left with 5 plants to do next week, and then the other 7 I've done this week, so one more go, so it'll be about the 29th stopping, but that wouldn't naturally be that late for most, but when you're then waiting for them to come out the ground, that adds another probably week, 10 days onto that stopping date as well. Let's hope the weather stays kind, a bit of rain wouldn't go amiss, or I'll be up here again Friday giving them a drink. Morning, Thursday the 30th of June. Yep, it's not Wednesday. I had to go and do some work yesterday up in Birmingham, so I swapped my day off to Thursday. Plants are starting to muscle up now. You see the old one, there's a bud in there. It's just one or two that I've just left to stop later. Pretty much most of the rest have been stopped. As you can see, things like this is Alvis, has been stopped, side shoots removed, and this is what we've got coming from the ground. So there's 3, 4, probably about 5 or 6 good shoots coming there. That would have been stopped first, so that would have been stopped in the first round, so it would have been probably 2 weeks ago. This one was last week. There's a couple of bits coming from down there, the same there, just coming up, so you get a stagger on the plants, or try to. Fabric's still a problem. I have started to try and rectify that, and hopefully I'll get a feed today, and I should carry on doing that today as well. So here's a Ramsey, again low shoots from down there. This would have been done 2 weeks ago. And others, there's one that would have been done last week, and there's just a little bit coming up from under the ground there. There's 25 plants of this, and I've 25 plants to most varieties in this bed, and I've got them from that to ones in the other row that have been stopped normally, that have got good shoots coming away, and others that are just getting away like that. So hopefully that gives me a spread of flush throughout all of these plants, which have all been stopped. And then we've got the same with, this is Bryn, got some that have absolutely gone away, others that are coming away. If we dig down the bits that are left, so hopefully again a spread of flowers. There's one plant there that I haven't stopped yet, and there's another one up there. But at this time of year, when you do take the tops out, if they haven't already budded, the laterals are already forming, and they don't take long to get away. It's just making sure I've got hopefully something for later. Eggy whites, you can see the fabric still in a problem, and the Valentine, again that side stopped normally. This one stopped and stripped, and it's all from low down. This row's the fairway spur. This is where the fabric's really gone. We've got Almonds Climax, Kia Magic, Casper. I had a couple of problems with Casper. They really didn't like the chop, so I've just dropped in a couple of other plants in there just to make way. I didn't think they was going to make it. This is the new mulch, which is manure. This is the worst affected bed on the fabric, so I thought I'd start with this one. And that's the John Hill Cream Alvis. Maltazersley up there, this plant's still to stop. Same here with the white Alvis. We've got some that are just spiking the ground there with a bigger shoot, so if I get another couple of shoots or shoot from there, I'll probably take this larger one off. Missed a couple of bits at the top there. We'll take them off. And then we've got Ben Houston with a few plants to stop on that. This is the Hannah J. I haven't seen much life coming from the ground yet on those, so that'd be interesting. Hopefully it does. And the Cheryl Greta, Rihanna Tammy, always quite quick to throw the shoots up, which they're doing. Bonaventure, yet to stop. I'm going to continue to grow them, even though I'm not happy with the health. My mistake growing from field tubers, not pot tubers. Pink peach and peach, you can see at the back there. These are yet to be stripped, which I shall do today after the feed. Go American, which I'm growing on a double stop, just to try and see that. Stopped once, stopped again. The same there. Just trying to ironically take a bit of petal out of it, because I think it's got too much petal and it's hard to get a flower that has got a respectable size centre and any depth to it. And then the Hamari Gold, which those have been chopped. Those will be today. So that's where we're at. Another feed, which is next. Hopefully this, whatever we could do with some rain, this rain might hold off while I'm working on the plants. And then fabric off, manure on. Fortunately, the manure comes from where you see that white bit over there, or the new fence in the house. Poles there, and I've got to cart it over to here and then put it on around the ground with my hands, which seems to be the best tools for the job. A bit like the old Derek Hewlett method. Whether it'll work, I'm sure it won't do any harm as long as the manure's clean, which I feel it is. It's been here since August, and plenty of other plot holders have been using it for probably more sensitive things than dahlias, and I've heard no complaints so far. Off we go, a day on the plot. Well, there's 3 beds done. Generally I found the hands being the best method of getting it around the plants. You still crunch off a few leaves while you're doing it, but hopefully they'll come back from that. So I've just got those 2 beds there done, and the one that I did or started down here finished off. But it's going to take a bit longer than I expected, but I'm just going to have to keep on going as and when, and then a bag full of weed fabric to dispose of. But we'll keep going, keep doing it, see if we can, we, couldn't say that, didn't I can get it done.